welcome to Not Another Business Podcast. I'm your host, Zachary, and I have today with me Mr. Ace Cenatus. How you
Yes,
doing, man?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay, man. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I'm all right. We here. And thank you, man. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for, setting up the time. This has been definitely one of the main people that I wanted to always like have a conversation with is you for sure because of all the things that you do. And I can't wait for everyone to hear your story and what you have going on and how things have been for you in the past years. So thank you again for that.
Appreciate that, man. Vice versa too, man. I'm always following you from afar and up close. We've known each other for a long time,
For
from
sure.
afar and up close.
Yeah, literally.
I think 2024 is definitely gonna, create open doors and windows for us to do a lot of great things together, man. Like I said, we've seen each other's work ethic from afar, never
Yeah.
up close. I think 2024 is gonna be that year, man. So
Yeah,
I'm
most
definitely looking
definitely.
forward for that.
All right, cool. All right, so let's start with a quick introduction. Who is Allen's? Who is Ace?
Shit, the
which do
man
you
with a million
prefer?
names, man.
Yeah,
Each of them represents something too, man.
exactly. That's how I am. That's how I am. But I
I know,
always feel like
I
I
know that
always feel like
I
I'm.
saw,
Yeah,
Nate
yeah, yeah.
Logan, like, name it,
You got to. You got to. I feel like it's just a good thing to do.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. The thing with me, it's always like, growing up, I would say that my peers, the streets always giving me a name, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever recall I pick a name for myself. Even the name Ace, some people call me leader. I remember growing up, they used to call me champion. And someone used to go, growing up, they was always giving me a name, right? And it's always suit me. So, but to tell a little bit about myself, man. I mean, let's see, my real name is Ace Cenatus. You know what I'm saying? I was born in Gonaive, Haiti. Laboto, you know what I'm saying? I came in the States early '90s. My mother was here, so I'm the oldest of three.
Okay.
So when I came to Massachusetts, actually I spent a year some change in Florida. Around that I spent a year some change in Florida. When I came to Boston, I was staying in Austin and Brighton for a little bit. You know how that is. We bounced from cities to cities. For a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I went to elementary school in Kenny, in Dorchester.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Woodrow Wilson Middle School, also in Dorchester. I graduated from Woodrow Wilson. I ended up going to Brighton High for high school. Then after that, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I didn't graduate from Brighton. I transferred my last year to Cambridge, Virginia Latin. So I ended up graduating in Cambridge, where I reside for a little bit as well. And then we end up moving to Everett. Again, we bounce all over the place. If you're a son of a foreigner, you know how that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Early '90s, early 2000s. Hardworking mother, hardworking parents. Doing 2 or 3 jobs. You know what I'm saying? And just trying to, trying to pave the way for her children. You know what I mean? So
For
yeah,
sure. Yeah, one thing we all know for sure is the Haitian families, they're gonna work. They're gonna
oh
work hard, they're gonna
man,
provide for their families, they're gonna make it happen.
definitely do. I remember my mother, man. That's why I kind of get my work ethic a little bit, man. I remember, like, that lady used to do 2 or 3 jobs, going from one to another. You know what I'm saying? With her sacrifice, because I came from Haiti, with excuse me, with a lot of soccer skills.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Haiti, man, that's what I did, man. Soccer, kites, my bike, marbles, other fun things to do. But soccer was my number one thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I grew up in a family where, all my uncles, I have uncles, and that were like great soccer player back home, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of my uncles just passed away, which was
Sorry to hear
Coach
that.
Pierre. He was the head coach for the Haitian national for a while. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's a big head coach. He was a big head coach back in Haiti. He just passed away like a few weeks ago. But that's Gosman's older brother, Sean
Mm-hmm.
Pierre. So again, I grew up in a family tree where I had an uncle named Shenzet Man. Gosman himself, was a beast in soccer. my other uncle, Get Pierre. Like I said, I grew up in a family that it's in my DNA, if you would say, right?
Yeah. All right. And so what do you do currently? What's a day look like for Ace?
Well, Dave, for me, I'm a homebody, man. Believe it or not, man. I'm a homebody. Right now, I'm currently in the studio with a young lady named Irie. Another thing, so I was very passionate about was music. I used to manage a band called MVG, Never Go Naive. I grew up with a group of guys called One ENT, Pillage and Sunshine. Music was always in my DNA too. And I was away
And
from
and just to be clear, what are you doing exactly as far as like in the music industry?
like right now. Again, like I said, I'm sort of right now. I'm managing her.
Just manage. Okay, managing.
So yeah, I'm not like I put the mic down for now. You know what I mean? I put the mic down for now, Carl. So I'm managing her. She's a young lady out here in Boston. She's super talented. She's an R&B singer. I truly believe with my knowledge and her talent, we could definitely help her get to where she needs to be in the music industry. Again, like I said, especially within the HMI sort of, there's a lot of young ladies that are finally now taking over the throne, right? Like you got ladies like
Around
Michelle.
the world in general too. It's like
around the world,
the music.
Music, yeah. Ladies are actually running the game. Not saying the guys ain't making no noise neither, but
They're not. They're not.
they're not.
They're just not.
Not
we
as much
gotta.
as the ladies, I would say, right?
Yeah. What
The
they say, like we gotta call a spade or something like that.
Yeah,
They're not. They're not making the noise, or maybe we're just used to the same thing, and
yeah.
really that's what it is. They're just doing the same
Not as
exact thing.
Well, let's just like let's use Beyonce for example with her beehives. Like the ladies, like are becoming super supportive of each other, right?
Yeah.
And really following that step. Like, hey, what? She's a woman. She's good. Let's follow her. You know what I mean? And and you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. That's good. So managing, doing music or artist management,
Yeah.
and then what else you do?
Well, right now we're doing the off season for the soccer.
Okay.
I also do a club every Saturday in Ferry Street, Malden. I actually operate at the Island Restaurant Cuisine on 118 Ferry Street, Malden. It's a Haitian-owned business. That every Saturday night, you know what I mean. If you're a big fan of compa, zouk, dance hall, you're out here, after a long week of work, you find that down on Saturday nights. It's a little program we do every weekend. Actually, I've been doing that for the past 5 years. It's steady, solid. We have a good amount of people that comes every weekend, a good amount of supporters. I'm a community guy. I'm always have to do something to keep the community active. From the soccer to the music, from the music to the club. You know what I mean? It's like it's funny, right? Because growing up in the projects, we used to always have cookouts in the project, and my mother loved that. She loves cooking for people, right? So I was always the one to like have big gathering at my house, And my mother would love to cook. She loved to feed the community, and I think I have a lot of her in me when it comes to that. Always have to be doing something for the community, sort of, right? If you would say.
I want to say. Oh well, actually, you already highlighted a little bit of my follow-up questions in terms of like the things that you do, which is like, how did you get to that point? And it sounds like a lot of it really was just instilled in you. Like you just grew up, around people, and you basically, like, we're products of our environment. So, around your house, it was always like, we're helping our people, like we're having these events and we're gatherings and everybody's coming along together. So like the sense of community came from the family.
It's funny. I was the type, my mother would go to Haiti every summer, right? And she's always trying to drag me to Haiti. Come with me, let's go with me. And she'd be like, no, I don't want to go to Haiti. I don't want to go to Haiti. Simply the fact because I would wait till my mother go to Haiti so I would have house parties, right? So I was always in that, always wanted to be the one to just have gathering, have party. That was always something I loved doing, man. So
yeah. So let's see. Let's talk about the soccer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the soccer part of it. So, how did you have the D1 Soccer League,
Yep, correct.
and how did that come about? When was that time that you woke up one day where it was like, you know what, I want to do D1 Soccer League, and or Soccer League, I should say, and then called it D1? Like, what was that process like?
Well, I grew up in playing soccer at multiple leagues in Massachusetts. So after high school, I had a friend of mine named Pedro, Zach Herivo's father. He took me under his wing. He used to take me to different tournaments all over the states, Canada, New Jersey, to play in different teams. And then I was playing in a league in Dorchester for a while. And I was playing I played with a Haitian team. We won the title one year. And I was playing with a Jamaican team called Javila for a few years. Then that league ended up falling off, right? But before that league fell off, I was playing soccer in Cambridge at Area 4, Park called Area 4. Every afternoon, we would go to Area 4 every afternoon, meet a few friends, man, like around 4 or 5 o'clock, we would go to Area 4. We'd be like 50 of us just playing soccer in that open field,
Yeah,
right?
just like back home in Haiti.
Yes. What'd you say?
Just like back home in Haiti.
Just like back home. And honestly, Carl, that's the best thing that could have happened to me, because at one point I was in the projects, man. Like, I was limited in the projects, man. I was hanging around with a bunch of friends. All we did was, smoke, drink, and just hang around the projects like every day. So when I did find out there was a group of guys that was playing soccer, remind you, I was away from soccer for years. So when I found out there was a group of Haitian guys that was playing soccer in Broadway, I was like, word, right? Something different, because again, I was like, growing up in the projects, it was limited resources to things that we could have done. You know what I mean? Summertime, because I was hanging with a bunch of friends, and I found myself, doing things that
Yeah.
So when I found out guys was playing soccer on Area 4, man, listen, my afternoons became different. I was looking for it for the next day. We like you said, like back home, the shit talking. I'm gonna beat you tomorrow. I can't wait. Like, how did I miss you? Went to bed thinking about what you gonna do the next day. Like it kind of sparked my childhood love again, right? So when that happened, and then so the first year, like I said, it was like 50 of us. Then and the next year I was like, you know what? Let me put a team together in that Dorchester league, right? And I ended up putting a team together called Cambridge Dragon. So Cambridge Dragon, I had guys like Wishnol, I had guys like Paul, Jervins, Jackson, Ducci, a bunch of young kids that just came from Haiti that
at the
were
time
for opportunity, right? But of course, to convince these guys to go play to Dorchester wasn't no joke, man, because the guys go to Cambridge and Dorchester, two different type of environment, and the league was extremely rough around the edges, I would say. It was a grown adult band that wasn't really unorganized. That anything could happen to you, right? So for me to convince these guys, hey, because I played there for years, I knew it was it's a league, it's a good level type league that you had to be ready for. I had to convince. I wasn't able to get everybody, but I was able to convince majority of the guys to put the team together. So I put the team together. I got uniforms. Me being the leader that I am, I put a few guys in position to be my assistant, and guys were super motivated for it. And the first year, believe it or not, we lost in the semifinals, and that's simply the fact that I feel like we got robbed in the semifinals. It was raining. We thought the game was canceled. We didn't want to go. The owner said if we don't show up, we're going to forfeit. So we scrambling. We got there. We lost like 2-1, something like that. So, that was the first year experience on that. And then by the second year, a team of 22, 25 players, I ended up having like 100 young men that wanted to play for Cambridge Dragon. As you know, I can't play 100 guys in the team. Right. So, again, me being the brains, me being the leader that I am, so what I did is I was like, you know what? I took Paul. I took a few guys that were in the team that I knew that had leadership qualities, right? I'm like, guys, I'm going to divide the 100 guys in 3 teams. I give you 25 players. I give this guy 25 players. I take 25, and then I put advertisement out there. Like that was so like I said, I grew up doing house parties and learning to fight people. So I had the how to put the word out there, right?
Yeah.
So I put a flyer together. I started posting. I started telling words of mouth. That was way before Facebook was Facebook, man. You had to go out there and do the hand on hand interactions, right? So So I ended up getting. So I had 3 teams, and I ended up getting I think either 3 or 4 teams that year. So I know the league was like 6 or 8 teams that year. I ended up getting a good friend of mine whose name is Ali, Somalian guy. That his team was amazing. I ended up getting Pedro, who put me onto soccer with a team called Brookline Lions. So the first year, that's it. We get a 16. We was playing at Russell Field in North Cambridge. I don't know if you know that's where
No.
Cambridge play their football. The Russell right behind Allied.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I got stories for you for days, man. So we were playing at Allied again. That was another field that we should practice every afternoon. I'm talking about Monday to Friday. That's where I would be. We all would be there like practicing. The field's always empty. So I figured, you know what, shit, man, this field's always empty. Nobody use it. Why not make the league there? You know what I mean? I was young and ambitious. Didn't know about field permits or nothing like that. I had a goal, had a vision. I wanted to get it done, any means necessary. So again, the invitation came through. The first year went pretty well. The first year, my team went to the finals. My team lost to the semifinals to Steve Maestro that plays for Hulk FC.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That itself was experience itself because, again, we didn't have field permits. It was dark. It was getting dark, and the game was tied. We had to go to PK. I was so ambitious, bro. I had cars drive behind the goal, put lights on so the guys would be able to see the PK, man. There was nothing that was going to stop me, Carl. You know what I mean? That's how. There was nothing that was going to stop me from getting the season done. And unfortunately, the team Steve played for, I would say it now, I had a choice. The game was, they cheated, right? I had a choice, either put my team forward or the league would be over. You know what I mean? So what I did is, I put the lead forward. I let them get away with their cheating. They ended up with the finals and they won the game the first year. Apanu won the cup in 2008. That was 2008. They won the first annual D1 Soccer League. And then the following year, again, the first year was very successful. Guys gave them more motivated. They're looking forward for the,
So at that time, should we say the league was created? The league was official, or are you just kind of doing this like, let me just get these guys together, like not without any intent behind it.
The league was run. Oh wait, I had beat them. Same strategy, same format I have today. Same foundation. I had meetings with those guys. We spoke about what we wanted to do. We spoke about the rules and regulations. Some of the rules we have in D1 Soccer League right now are the same rules we had in 2008. The unlimited subs during the regular season and don't care during the playoffs. Like a lot of the rules we had in 2008, the same rules we have today. And they work, they work perfectly for us. So yeah, 2008 the league started.
So with all of that going on, right, and one of the things that I like to really look into and point out, because what my podcast is all about is really just to highlight the hard choices that we have to make sometimes to reach success or even happiness, or just the sacrifices that we have to make as young Haitians and coming into America. This is not our land. This is not our home. Like, unfortunately, it hurts to say, but we're guests here. Everything we want, everything we desire when we come out here, we have to earn it. Yeah, so what are you doing at that point outside of soccer? What does your life look like outside of soccer? Yeah.
Man,
or even like, so how old are we talking about around that time?
2008. 2008. I was
without revealing your age.
No, it's fine. I was 28 years old.
Okay, so you're 28 years old. So that at that point, it doesn't sound like you went to college and played soccer.
No, I didn't get a chance to play college ball. But on that subject, another thing about me too. When I came to the States, I didn't have my documents like most of us, came to the States. So when I was playing for summer league for a coach named Felipe. Felipe was a professional player from Spain that came to rehab in Boston, and we ended up intertwined at the same time. And he became my coach for the U18, U19. I graduated early than most. I graduated at 17 years old, right? So, but I was playing the summer league. When I met Felipe, I was scoring I was scoring. Again, when I transferred to Cambridge Wrench, it was too late. I couldn't play for Wrench, and Brighton
Okay.
did not give you that much opportunity when it comes to sport. Brighton High School at that time was not it for me. But
Okay.
Cambridge had so many opportunities. So when I stopped playing for Felipe, I was scoring like, dude. For the summer I scored by like 60 goals. I was quick, fast. Dude, I was a monster. Felipe had plenty of coaches call me at the time. Framingham, Salem State, a lot of colleges called me. Again, I did not pick a lot of the calls because again, I didn't have my documents. I didn't have the knowledge of I could have took the scholarship as an international student. I wasn't informed with those type of knowledge, right? So, but I had opportunity to play college ball. I did. I played I play a lot of semi-pro leagues. I play in New Jersey, I play in New York, I play in Miami. I did went to community college, but I never played ball for them, right?
Okay.
Again, like I said, the opportunities were there for me to play, college ball. Like I said, multiple colleges called me. Thanks to Felipe, and which I ended up, he ended up becoming the high school coach for Cambridge Latin, right? And one of his wishes was for me to come play for the high school, but unfortunately for me, I graduated at 17.
Okay.
If I knew better, I probably would kick my ass back for one more year and play for the guy, right?
Just fail on purpose just to
Right?
take the class again.
Just I could easily say, hey, I don't think I'm ready. I want to do 1 year, right? I
Yeah.
was 17, right? So yeah, I did not really get to play college ball, but but I did get
Okay.
my opportunities.
All right. So now, you're 28 years old and then you got this idea and like, are you working at the time? Or are you doing
Since we in your
promoting
podcast,
around
no
that time?
filter, I'm a guy, I'm raw around the edges. I keep it 100 all the time. I try to at least, I say, again, growing up in Cambridge wasn't always sweet, man. I was not working, but I was in the streets, man. I was in the street
Okay. Okay.
hustling, doing what I had to do. And it was that street that allowed me that put money in my pocket. I was able to invest money to put to register a team. That had me to purchase uniform and be able to invest that money within something else that perhaps So I sort of did it in a way to get me out of the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To take that funds out of the streets and to do something that one day will be legit, right? You know.
Yeah.
Like what
I only ask again just to highlight, the sense of like juggling two things at once, right? You got work, like I say for me, for example, like in order to do any of these things that I'm trying to do with podcasting or whether it's clothing line, whatever it is, like you have to do this, you have to make these decisions
you
half
do,
the time,
you do,
right? You have to make these decisions whether it's like, do I want to go all in on this career that I'm already in and, trying to elevate my career from that standpoint, or do I want to go all in on this like side hustle of mine, like that I'm passionate about? And sometimes you end up kind of like having to put in 50-50 because your career is what's giving you your
Yeah.
paycheck.
With that being said, I've learned, I'm sort of like you, Carl. I'm always like, having multiple things going at once. Like it's from the soccer, I had the soccer, I had the music, I had different things always going on at once, right? Work and personal life, and in my journey, which we eventually gonna get to that. I've learned a hard lesson, right? And my lesson was, it's extremely difficult to juggle multiple things at once. To put 50% there, to put 10% there, to put 25 there. It does not work that way. I learned that lesson the hard way, and we're gonna get to that in a little bit. But
Okay.
yeah.
So, all right. So now we're 2008, and obviously we're in 2023, and so what goes on from that point on is like, are you continuing with the league? What does year 2 look like? And then how does it go from 2008 to now?
Well, yeah. So from 2008, so the league, the first time around, again, that's why that's why I said we would touch up on certain bases after, right? From 2008 to 2012, the league became from 2008. Like I said, we just started off. By 2012, which was the last year that I stopped the league became vastly too big for me to handle.
Okay.
And too big for me to handle, and I was too ambitious. I was skipping steps.
Mm.
So I was skipping steps, and there were there were some lessons in the journey that I skipped, right?
Mm-hmm.
That later on down the road that allowed the league to fail in 2012, right? Like the league became so big, man. I had the finals in 2011, Boston United versus Good City at Everett Stadium. We talking
Mm-hmm.
about like full stadium, both sides with bleachers, both sides full.
Yeah. Ever
I'm
got
talking
a
about,
you
bro.
know.
I didn't have no DJs. I didn't have no band. It was just fans of the soccer, fans from the community, both sides full. You know, and even the city, every Chronicles, Bonnet Chronicles, writing articles about us. They saying this movement, right? And again, I said it became too big, and I was one of the things I was understaffed,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was in the staff one, and I had some guys in my staff two that wasn't, you know, that wasn't there to for the benefit of the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2012 happened. So 2011 happened finals. So 2012, the league became so big where I needed two stadiums, right?
Okay.
Dude, I had like 20 some 30 teams, and everything had enough permit for me at the time. So lucky for us, Paul had a relationship with the city of Malden. I was able to get McDonald's Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And with McDonald's Stadium, we were on a trial basis at that time. It was our first year there. They heard about us. Like you said, young black entrepreneur that's able to gather hundreds of other black people that, for
Mm-hmm.
some, don't sit too well with them,
Yeah.
right?
Instead of looking at it as like, oh wow, these people are really doing good. They're looking at it as like a
Oh,
flight risk. Like,
a
oh,
flight risk, right?
yeah,
Yeah, the flight
exactly.
risk is too many black people.
Yeah.
They always have that fear factor.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime, like black people gather, right?
Right.
Our culture is different. We celebrate different, right? Just the same way when others have Woodstock or certain concert they do, they go all out and nothing happened. We have our own way we do our culture.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I've been around people like, if I'm talking to you in Creole, some people, say, oh, they think we arguing because that's how our
Right.
language,
Right.
our
Yeah.
dialect is, right? Like, sometimes, I'm having a conversation with my brother, we talking, like, someone that doesn't know any better would think, oh, I'm arguing this man. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we just having one of them type of Haitian conversations, right? So anytime, like, people who doesn't understand black culture or Haitian culture, like the first year I went back to Hormel Stadium. When I
Mm-hmm.
got there, it's like something that I'm not used to, right? So, I had to sit down with, like, a bunch of, folks to explain to them this is our culture, you know what I mean? And, that's how we get down. So 2012, I was juggling two stadiums. Like I said, the league
Mm-hmm.
became so huge, too many teams, it was the talk of the town. And we had the incident that happened in McDonald's Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into too much details from that. It wasn't like anything drastic. But again, we being young black men, and that that
It was a trial
we,
period
we
too
were in trial
with
base.
Malden.
So all they needed is one thing. It could have been someone that spit on the track. All they needed was one thing to say, get these
Yep.
dudes
Yep.
out there. And unfortunately for them, one of our fans gave them that reason, right?
Mm.
And I ain't gonna lie to you too, man. At that point too, it became overwhelming for me. I felt like myself. I was doing a lot. I was understaffed. I was doing a lot, and I'm like, you know what, man. I got it checked out, man. I'm like, you know what, and at the time too, I was dating this young lady too. We were going on our own little trials, relations and shit. I said, you know what, I just did some time for myself. So I checked out. I said I was going to take a break, and eventually come back. That break ended up happening from 2012 till after the pandemic. So if you say 2012 to what, 2021, we're looking at
Yep.
what, eight
8 years.
8 years hiatus, man.
Yeah.
And
9 years.
8 years. Every year I would say, man, I'm bringing the league back. I would post, I'm bringing the league back, but never found the joy to do so. But what gave me the joy to bring back the league was after the pandemic. Everybody's pandemic. It's been like a year or some change in the house.
Yep.
Everybody got fat. I got fat. So when I finally got out, I'm like, you know what? Let me start running around. Let me go start playing soccer again. I started a thing called Casse Vent,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Casse Vent was every afternoon. I would meet up in Malden, the field where we normally practice. Like I said, I still had that same. It was able to gather people, right? I would send a few texts, posting on social media. Yeah, guys, Casse Vent, when you get in shape with us, right? And so doing that, so I seen a bunch of young, they start bringing images again. Bunch of young kids that I didn't even knew that was in the community that knows how to play, right? Guys my age that are coming too, but then guys my age start bringing younger kids. So guys like so younger guys that are coming and they could ball, and that's not having the same vision like I had back in Cambridge. Like, oh shit, maybe I could bring back the league, right? You know what? Then and a good thing for me, I got a phone call coming from a friend of mine, Pierre Richard. It's funny, right? Right? Pierre Richard, not the point. I'm not blaming the guy. One of my good guys because he used to own a team called SCZ. These guys had a youth fan base. It was an incident with him at Malden at McDonald's Stadium that caused me to lose the finals, right?
Okay.
Stadium, right? But it was in how life works in full circle. It was Pierre Richard again who called me to invite me in a small tournament he was doing in Dorchester. And mind you, I'm doing Casse Vent, a bunch of neck go front with a few jet guys that and I'm like, you know what? Hey, let's try this shit. It might work. So I took the guys to Dorchester. It was a small tournament, small goals. First game we went to, it was like a 3-4 game tournament. First game, we went to, we tied. Second game, we were losing. Boom. Last minute, we not winning 3-2 and PK or some shit like that, and we're not winning. Went to the finals. So now all the guys are pumped. Oh, we in the finals. Like everybody's pumped. But me, what I did is right. Now because now in the finals, guys making phone calls. They're calling guys I know how to play to come win the title. And what I did is in the finals, I didn't play those guys I knew how to play. I played those guys that have been with me since day one with the whole Casse Vent. They weren't that good players, but they were there.
Yeah.
Right? So guys like, what you doing? We want to win the game. You putting these guys in. I had a bigger picture, right? So I put those guys in. We ended up losing the game. Of course, they crucified me for it, but I knew what I was going to do, right? I knew I was going to get back with the league, and in order for me to do so, I had to get everybody an opportunity, right? Even the guys that that some don't think they is capable of playing, right? And so that happened. So I called Paul. I've been doing this shit with Paul for a long time. Paul, I think it's time, man. I think it's time. Paul's like, you sure, man? You sure? I'm like, man, listen. I think it's time. Even when I put the word out, bring back the league out, nobody believed me I was going to do it.
Yeah, because it's been many times you're like, yeah, I'll bring it back, and it's like,
I never did it. I'm like, I'm hoping to bring back. So I got my mojo back, I got my motivation back. I'm in every team practice. I'm in everywhere they got soccer. I'm in Instagram. I'm in boxing teams. I'm looking. I'm scouting. Right? And I was like, you know what? Excuse me. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bring the league back. I think I had 8 teams for the first year back. 8 teams. I'm like, I don't need much. I think 8 teams just to get the ball rolling. We ended up getting 8 teams. I think we got suspense that year. We had a team called FC Creole. I ended up getting G City back. I got a Jaguar, which is Marco, Brazilian team. I got a team called Swum Scott. Who was it I got that year again?
I think he had Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, yeah. Rhode Island. So I had 8 teams. 8 solid teams, and Premier. I had Premier. I had Premier. So,
and are these all teams that you worked with in the past, or are these kind of like newer teams now?
The only team that was with me in the past was G City.
Okay.
Everybody else was new teams.
Okay.
But in a sense where the same faces in some, like Suspense. I knew Jervis, I knew Nalby. And they used to be in Apanu and Black Lions, different teams, or they came up with a new name. But same owner. I was familiar with Jervins. I knew Patrick. I knew Junior with Premier.
So just branching out.
Yeah. So you're branching out. The guy saw the league was coming back, and another thing too was that, coming back. Some say, yo, you should change the name of the league, go somewhere else, because when we ended 2012, we didn't end pretty. We had to, It wasn't pretty. It was ugly. We had stains. People was doing backlash. Volley cup champion. Nah, I'm saying lie. It's never a pretty thing. So I'm like, you know what? The league did more good than it did bad. So it's okay. I will bring back the name. And it was a good thing I ever did because the name carry weight, right? That name, from 2008, 2012 was the talk of the town. Even then, I would have families, people calling me and inbox me, when you coming back with the league? When you coming back with the league? You know what I mean? And it's a good thing I kept the name, but yeah.
So mentally, you're seeing these images and it's like it's clicking. You're getting those flashbacks and it's sparking something. And you're thinking of all the sacrifices you had to make, and you're restarting it again. What was that decision like at that point? Because it sounded like even Paul was like, "You sure you want to go through that again?" But you're like, "Yeah." What made you think like, yes, this was worth the sacrifices and the all the trials and tribulations?
Well, after the pandemic, it was perfect timing. Again, we spent a year and some change inside outdoor, inside the house. So the feedback from year one, from motivation from the guys to bring back the league was like, yo, I had my cousins, everybody's like, yo, bring back the league. We need it. We need something to do in the community, especially in the summertime, right? The summertime is not really much. It's about cookout, it's about ball. It's not really something that, that, you know what I mean? And I will touch on that too, Carl. One of the main reasons as I got older that made me very passionate doing the league was the able to keep these young men off the street, man. Like I said, I grew up in the projects. If like I said, if it wasn't for these guys that was playing soccer in the afternoon in Area 4, Lord knows where the fuck would I be? You know what I'm saying? Because I was already in knee high and shit that wasn't me, right? So it was that afternoon soccer that kept me busy, that kept me kept me in the path of doing something I love doing, which was the soccer. So I saw when I see these young guys playing, I saw a lot of myself in them, right? Like a young guy like Steve, for example. I know I could name many players. If it wasn't for the soccer, that kid could have easily been in and out of jail, right? Growing up in Cambridge, growing up in that area at that time. You know what I'm saying?
So it was your way of paying it forward too. It was paying it forward.
When I brought the league back, there was a young man. His name is Jason, right? Young dude straight from Haiti. He's into the streets. Unfortunately for him, something happened to him, right? After that thing happened to him, he called me like, "Yo, hey, you know what, man? I love what you doing with the soccer league, man. You know what? I'm gonna stay off this street shit. I'm gonna focus on my game and focus on this soccer shit because this street shit's not for me." You know what I mean? He almost lost his life, playing those street shit. With you know what I'm saying? So again, like seeing stuff like that, hearing stuff like that reminds me the reason why I do this soccer shit, man. You know what I mean? It's a lot of trials and tribulation. It didn't take me long to realize what the hell am I doing again? Why did I try to get back again? You know what I mean? It's time consuming. It takes a lot, man. It takes a lot. But again, like when I see families come to the stadium with their children, girlfriends or wives or husband, that gives me a little more motivation to push forward, man. You know what I mean? This is gonna be our 4th year in. I did give myself a 5-year stretch for this league to be where it needs to be. So far, from 2021 to 2023, I would say we're in pace, to accomplish where we need to be, but we're still a little bit behind. More so on staffing and recruiting the right people, to make this thing run, man. And I think, if me and Paul surround ourselves with the right people, the right mindset, this thing will have a life of its own, and will be major in our community. You know what I mean? So
yeah. How do you take care of yourself? Like, because that's a lot of things to be doing. And I'm a solid advocate when it comes to this hustle and grind stuff. It's like we get lost in that, and I'm personally I like to learn new ways on how other people, like, especially in the Haitian community, like there's no such thing as like taking care of your mental health. There's no such thing as like none of that stuff. Like, we don't believe in that. It's like,
Man,
yeah, it's go, 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 go. Like, never even taking a vacation, never even
never,
like
man. And
spending money on anything because that money was saving it for God knows what.
who knows what,
So
you know?
yeah.
You know,
So how do you take care of yourself, man? When this is all said and done, what does Ace say to himself and say, you know what, this was a good day. Like, I'm content with what I'm doing.
you know what? You know, from the first year around, from 2008 and 2012, you know, one of the reason I broke down was,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, I never took time for myself. Never took a
Yeah.
vacation. I was dating this young lady. We never go nowhere. Summertime was I was so dedicated to this soccer shit. I would never go
Yeah.
nowhere. I would never do anything.
It's like, follow me wherever I'm going, or we're not
Right,
going
right.
anywhere
You know,
else.
yeah, she was there consistent with it. So, but the second time around, I made to myself to at least during the season to trying to get away,
Mm-hmm.
right? Trying to do different things, not just all soccer, right? Um, man, listen, man. Sometimes, well, you know, like when I feel like I'm a chosen one for that purpose, man. Sometimes I'm doing the soccer shit. I don't think it's me. It's like a spirit guiding me, bro. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I can't even explain it to you half the time. It's like a spirit just like it's something that's in me that it just does it naturally.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I don't know how I do it. Sometimes, you know, back to what I said. What this final was one of the toughest finals for me, right? You know, a few days before the finals, you know, I lost a close friend of mine. One of our staff was Peterson, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Sorry for
we
your
got the
loss.
news on Tuesday, and the finals was on Sunday. And you know, shit, I heard it. You know, I'm like, wow, it's fucking crazy, man. But I was in the middle of trying to get everything ready for the finals. I heard the news. I was still shocked by the news, but it didn't really hit me until the finals. Like, I got on stage because we were supposed to present him a trophy for staff of the year. Pearson was there every fucking game.
Mm.
Wayne, Hell, Sleep, Snow. Like, he was first one there, last to leave. He was always there.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were supposed to present him a award. When I got on stage to present, you know, his cousin that came to get the award, bro, I can't remember the last time I shed tears. I broke down like a baby on stage in front of like whoever many people that was there, you know, and to me, I think all everything, and you know, and after that moment, Carl, I would say, you know, I wouldn't say it was an embarrassing moment. I felt relief after that in a strange way. Like letting those tears out, all that emotion out at that moment in time, as embarrassing it may be or whatever it was, you know, it felt like I took a load off my back,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, and you know, and like I said, it was one of the toughest finals I've done. You know, mainly because of the passing of Peterson, and also for the first time I'm bringing a live band to the stadium. You know, for picking up the band from the airport to doing this and all that, and then to make matters worse, I was supposed to get the field at like 3 o'clock. They had a football game there, right? So the football game didn't finish till like 4, so I was already an hour behind. Set up to it was the toughest finals I had. It was a successful for people that attended, but for
Mm-hmm.
me it was a stressful final, man.
So let's talk about try to point a couple of the and you've highlighted a few of them too. And if there's anything else in particular that you want to highlight, feel free to do so. So let's talk about major wins in your journey. It's not always sunshine, but it's not always dark clouds either. So what are some of the major wins in the last 14, 15 years dealing with this that you care to talk about?
I mean, major wins to me is finally getting the acknowledgement from the community of what we're doing, right? You know, even though a lot of times, I have people that reach out to me sometimes that may not have time to attend a game, but they will inbox, man. They loving what we're doing. They see the vision, and like one of my guys, Jack Clozo. I call him Jack Clozo. Now he was a player, a former player of D1. He's
Mm-hmm.
all grown now. When I met the kid was 17, 16, 17, he's all grown now with with a beautiful baby boy. Every time his son comes to the game, Because just seeing him bringing his son to the game, to me, that's major win to me, man. You know, and a lot of times too, when I post pictures of like you could say, one of the things we do, we always take pictures of family and kids,
Yeah.
in the games. Like, when I post a picture of someone's kid back in '08, and the kid's probably 17, 18 now, it's like them seeing that picture, it's like, wow, like they kind of grew up with the league. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's like a memoir, of your journey in the community, man. So wins for me is just, it's the impact of the league in the community, man. Again, not everybody's gonna, run and give you, love or joy or respect for what you're doing, but those that do overpower those that don't. To me, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are the wins for me, man. Just just the happy, the smile, anytime somebody comes to me and say, "Man, you're doing a good job, man, keep it up." To me, it's wins for me, man. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
So it's the community and the acknowledgement from the community.
That's
pretty
the win
dope
for me, man. That's why I tell you, I grew up doing shit like that in the community. Always, I'm like, having people around me, having people, gathering people, having fun. I get joy out of that. You know what I mean?
So besides some of the other losses that you talked about, and usually on this podcast, I refer to losses as lessons. So any other lessons that you want to talk about besides some of the ones that you already mentioned?
Well, lessons is, again, and this journey. Not everybody that comes in your circle is there to help the journey grow. Right? The journey is, and again, one of the mistakes I did back then, there was a gentleman that he came to my meetings. He wanted to help. He wanted to be a part of the board. Brought him in, learned everything from us, took his notepad, and the following year, the guy wanted to do his own league at the same stadium I was operating at. Right? So, major losses is just, it's just unfortunately sometimes you want to open the doors for every young entrepreneur to give guys opportunities. You know what I mean? If you're a graphic designer, if you're a videographer, if you're whatever it is, a food vendor or whatever, you want to, because this thing cannot just run by myself, right? And I said, any business can't run by yourself. Right? As you're getting bigger, you need people. You need people. You need staff. You need volunteer. People with similar goals, similar dreams. Unfortunately, according to in our community, right? I'm not just going to say Haitian. I think most black people, think that sometimes like you own the clothing company. You'd have a guy that probably wants to do a clothing company, but he wants to come join you. But instead of playing the position for him to help the company grow, he wants your position. He feels like you're doing better.
Yep.
Right.
Everybody want to be the main person.
Guy,
everybody want to be the
until they're in that shoe. Right.
Yep.
So fortunately, some of the losses is well, one of the things I've learned on that too, though, Carl. Like from my experience, I try not to lose any friendship over business, right? So sometimes if I know something might go south, we might distance ourselves from the business aspect of things, but I want to keep the friendship. I don't want to let them one get beef and get bad guy. Well, because my vision and your vision might not be the same. Man, listen, man, how you doing? How's the fans of kids? I see y'all give you respect. But we might not be able to do that journey. Maybe we might do it again, later on down the road. You don't want to burn no bridge. You know what I mean? Because shit. It's all about timing. Having the time. I might have met you the wrong time. Like I said, I know you plenty. I know you long time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely.
We never sat at the table yet. It's all about timing, right?
Yeah.
So
and that's the interesting thing with timing sometimes too, because it gives you a chance to really learn, about learn about the person. Like what makes this, and this is what this podcast is about too. It's like what makes you who you are. You know what I mean? Like behind all of it, right? Behind the soccer league, the marketing, the club, and everything. Like what makes Ace, who is that person? You know what I mean? And this is also too what something I'm noticing too with the podcast and with some of the guests that I've done so far is like this is already becoming a like a promise, right? So some of those things that we're talking about right now, like you're always gonna have that chance where you could go back and listen to this and really understand, like, and really get an idea of like, okay, you know what? I was really speaking about this thing at this point. Like I was really passionate about this. Like it's like a reminder, right? Like I say, we're gonna talk about like your some of the goals that you have for next year or the next couple of years, and that itself can also be a staple and a reminder is like, oh, next year, let's say you want to say next year, I want to make sure I have 5,000 people in attendance at the finals, and then next year you look at it, it's like you got 6,000 people in attendance,
man.
And it's like
I'm a big believer on speaking things into existence, man. I'm a big believer on that. I'm the type of guy like and I did lost that mojo. That's one of my best quality I had, man. Speaking things to existence. When I set my mind to do something, ain't nothing holding me back. I had that. I had that as a youngin'. I lost it along the way, but I'm slowly learning to gain it back. And Carl.
And the reason behind that too, and as you're already explaining, it's really I don't think we, like, some people really understand the value of acknowledgement, and how powerful it is to us as men, as human in general. You know what I mean? Because you need that encouragement.
You definitely do. We definitely
need that encouragement. Like you gotta, and sometimes like people just kind of like, keep going and whatever, and it's like you're sitting here and you're like, I'm doing this for you. Like I'm doing this for you. And then when especially when all you're getting is like because usually what you hear is the negative comments, right? That's what you're gonna hear most. Right? And that's why they sting even more, because it's like
all you need is that one good vibe. And Carl, like you're a business owner. You're doing a podcast. Sometimes like me being my position. I deal with different people, different young entrepreneurs, different guys that's looking for opportunities. Sometimes I'm left to make decisions that might not make people comfortable.
You have to make the hard call. Right? Yeah,
you got to make the hard call. But good thing about me, I try to keep it, 100 with everybody, man. I try to the best of my ability. I try not to offend anybody. But at the same time, I try to keep it honest with you, So of course you're gonna hear. There's gonna be a few other. You always gonna hear negative things about, especially when you're doing things. One unhappy customer is gonna go around and say, "Oh, Ace this, Ace that, and the third." But that's fine. I know that's part of it, right? So that's why I treasure the one good comments I get, once a month or whatever. That's why I look forward to that. And I try not to let that negative energy. I'm doing going slow. I'm doing meaning that don't like whatever, say whatever you want, as long as I know my heart is in a good place, whatever I'm doing is in a good place. You might not like my decision or like how I handle certain things, you know what I mean? But I know my heart is in a good place. I'm whatever decision I made it, in a good mind, not to hurt you, not to hate on you, or stop you from reaching your goals, whatever. I'm fine with that, man. You know what I mean? I'm going to sleep on that, man. Again, like I said, I have I had close friends, guys I work with closely, that says or do certain things that me for my peace, sometimes for my peace, I just gently walked away sometimes, man. Because
that's the best thing you can do sometimes, just kind of giving it time and just stepping away. And we would talk about taking care of yourself. Like that's how you got to take care of yourself sometimes, and just like even with walking away from the league for so long, that was also an indication that you needed that time. You needed to take care of yourself.
That time, man. Because that time, man. And one of my saying too, Carl, not to cut you off, I always say this. I always give thanks to God, because they use that saying with girls or relationship, if it was meant to be or come back. The
Yeah.
fact that after 8 years, and he put it right back on my lap to give me a second chance to make things right. I'm extremely grateful for that. How often do I could have came back and then could have been a flop. Came back stronger and better. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm
yeah.
like, wow. You know?
And I would definitely give you your flowers too on that, and give you that acknowledgement that from the year that I even stopped by, I think a practice or like some kind of tryout you were doing, and then
Yeah.
played for a little bit, and then sort of even joined the team, and as a player, and realizing for sure that I wasn't cut out for this, because in my
Yeah,
in
don't
my
say that. You was cut out for it.
and
They had
and
to
my
tell you were dealing with an injury at the time. You
in
know what
my
I mean?
soccer experience, I would say in my soccer experience, believe it or not, like that was really my first time ever playing, you know, on a big field, and like playing that kind of soccer. So it was like, oh, this is different. Uh,
Yeah, you used to play the 7-on-7s.
yeah, I'm used
Yeah.
to playing 7-on-7, like like schoolyard type stuff. Like that's what I'm like, organized in that sense. And
Yeah.
no tackle, no nothing. Like
Yo.
I'm like, yeah, this is different
It's
for sure.
different. What's up?
And to now, like one of the things I want to really one of the
Go
things
ahead.
I really want to point out is the way that how passionate you are about the younger generation, because like it or not, like no matter how we put this is for the new generation, right? This isn't for you. This isn't for the old heads. This isn't for
No.
the grown men, nothing, because like they're part of it,
Yeah.
but who really benefit from this is the newer generation.
Yeah.
It's the newer generation, the guys that are growing up, like you said, the kids that are looking at this and saying like, I want to play
You
here
can talk.
one
I'm listening.
day.
Let me grab my charger.
Yeah, do your thing. The kids that are coming in and saying like, yo, I want to play here one day, and the parents, the husbands and fathers that are coming in and looking around and say, you know what, I'm going to sign up my kid. I'm going to find a team that I can, get my son to play in, and to try out for, right? Because you got
Yeah.
these organized teams. Like this isn't all the teams that are there are not just teams that are like put together by some guy or whatever. You got a couple of organized teams that you can literally join in, and I think some of them might even do like payments too. Like I don't know how far along they are, but they're really organized. Like they got a tryout, they'll actually train and help and build the team, and they're all about that stuff. It's like it's really official. So I really want to give you props for that too, because we're the ones that got to look out for the new generation, or the newer generation, because just like, for example, imagine if I forgot what the name was, the guy that took you in and said, hey, let's go play some soccer, Pedro. Imagine if Pedro didn't do that for you. Like there probably wouldn't be no Ace.
I probably would be. Like I said, there's a lot of things that fell into place.
Right, you would have been you would have reincarnated in some way, but it wouldn't have been the same person. You know what I mean? It's like, and the same way too, like imagine if you didn't do the same thing at the time when you had the 100 guys that were coming in and wanted to play, and you put the team together. Like imagine out of those 100 guys, how many of those would have been here now? You know what I mean? And that's the new generation that you like. Even at that point, you were helping the newer generation, because now those guys are older, right? And guess what their kids are going to be doing? You know what I mean? Because I know us Haitians, we're so passionate about soccer. It's like our kids gonna play it, our kids gonna play it. And
man.
Like the goal, I think the goal for most of us Haitian families is like one of us is gonna make it in soccer.
It's like, always the goal.
We're gonna pass it down until one of us is sitting in the Champions League or is playing for a major team. So and we'll put the work in for that. So I really appreciate that you do that, and also too to see how you're continuously putting in that effort day in, day out. I've seen you look down sometimes, like during the process, but I'm like, nah, this is more like a stressed out look down, like, but I've never really seen you unhappy. And I think that's something powerful, man, because
Yeah. I
that
mean,
passion, seeing how you're allowing that passion, you're letting that passion drive you every time, every moment, every chance you
but
get.
see,
It's like you continue to keep going. That's inspiring. You know what I mean? That
you,
inspires me. Because
yeah,
when I look around, sometimes I feel down or I feel unmotivated because I'm like, I don't want to do this. You know what I mean? I want to do something else, or I want to focus on one thing and build up from there. And then I look around, I'm like, oh, look at Ace. Ace got 17 things he's doing at the same time, and
at the
he's
same
putting in the
time,
work. I have
yo,
no excuses. So it's an
you know,
inspiration for me, man, to see that.
you know what I saw on that, Carl? One of the things for me is always being positive, always being uplifting, man. I
Mm-hmm.
always see the good in everything, man. I think that's been very, very, with age comes wisdom, right? I find myself being a big brother, the uncle now that's always, giving the positive advice. The don't give up, don't quit. Come on, it's gonna be better. You're gonna overcome this. I'm always positive.
Mm-hmm.
Like listen, I deal with at the club all the time. I deal with at the soccer game all the time. I know life ain't easy. Everything is stressful nowadays. Look at the way things going around the world. Everything is stressful. But
Yeah.
if I can find joy and happiness in the lowest things, it keeps me going, right? I try. That's one thing too that it definitely is in my DNA to try and remain positive at all time, man.
Mm-hmm.
I try to find positive at everything and anything. When I could easily get mad, and honestly, nobody. I don't like to see myself mad.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm mad. It ain't pretty. So I try to stay positive at all time, and it's been very helpful for me, man. And I love
Yeah.
it. You know, and
And
hopefully I can keep going. Like you said, it ain't easy, man. But
it's not.
with that same breath, right? Like I'm back in the music thing. That I'm still kind of because again I was doing it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had the soccer game, the league. I was managing a band. Everything was going at once, and it's not easy doing multiple things. It's never easy. But
Yeah.
again, with experience, I'm able to right. That's why, like, even with Ivy, the young lady that I'm managing, I was like, you know what? We're not gonna do anything until after the season. So right,
Mm-hmm.
so as soon as the season's over, I'm like, right, let me detox away from soccer. I got 3 months to relax to myself before I even jump into soccer words. So we just been in the studio recording, focus on her music, and then so by the time we're done, I can start working on the soccer. So I've learned to like create a calendar now, balance that thing. When before I was just going with the flow of times, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right. Now I'm able to, what, try to do things seasonal, right? You know what I mean? And learn from past mistakes. So like right now we're in the studio, we recording as much as possible. So, maybe hopefully have a few videos ready before the summer start. And then that could play itself out and I could get ready to do for D1 Soccer 2024, right?
Mm-hmm.
The good thing about the club, I've been doing it for 5 years. It's already in a position where I don't really need to do much for the club.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't know this shit, if you don't know about Island Saturday by now, then you're not from here, right?
Right, right.
Right. So friends, that's the good thing about consistency, Carl. So right, like I tell myself all the time, if I never had stopped this league, if I had never took that break, right,
What would have
this league would have
happened?
been, I wouldn't be need to be at the games. It would have
Mm-hmm.
been running itself,
Yeah.
right?
Or,
I had,
or
I
at the
had.
same time, like because to every positive there's a negative. At the same time, it could be, you know, where would you have been if you didn't take that break, right?
Mm,
Because you were as fast as it was going, as
mm-hmm.
fast as good as things were going. There were
Yeah.
a lot of things that was falling apart.
Oh yeah.
So
True. You're right.
with something as passionate as you are about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine, I can only imagine, actually, I can only imagine the pain that you were going through when you had to say, okay, I got to walk away from this in 2012 after that success.
Oh man, listen,
So
I needed a break, man. I was at that
exactly.
point, like,
So that at that point, you just don't know. Like if
you
you
just
if you
don't know.
didn't heal from that and put more on top of that, like Ace probably would have broken up at that point. Like
I probably could have been good, lost my mind or some shit.
yeah, you
And I
probably would
started
have.
traveling. I started doing a lot of. I was like, you know what? I was like, I was always in the sun struggling with. dealing with our people's not the easiest people to deal with, man.
Definitely not.
So
Unfortunately.
I think with that I've learned to, if that league ain't broken me yet, and nothing else can. If Haitian people ain't broken me yet, and nothing else can. Like, dude, I had an incident this year. One of the guys that grew up with us, his son's not playing in the league. This guy been with the league since '08.
Yeah.
He came to a game at Deal Boy Stadium, and the stadium rules is we don't deal with nobody on the field other than players. And he went to sit on the beat on the bench on the benches on the other side on the grass. So I approached. I'm like, man, listen, you cannot sit here. You don't want us to sit here. Right side. And the guy I know pretty well. I know the guy pretty well. He knows me pretty well. The guy been with the league since forever. I'm like, yo, you can't sit here. You could for having 4 or 5 or sit over there because I don't want to get in trouble. I don't lose my permit. The guy went from 0 to 1,000 on me. Like, yo, what the fuck? Yo, he was coming for my neck. So I'm like, what the hell's happening here? It's a guy I know pretty well. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna argue with you today, bro. You must be having a hard time. Blah 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 blah. Again, I have to make decisions that are not too well with me. Had to get security to get him out of the stadium where a guy knew the way I should never have to do that for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, but I do. But I'm not saying, and even with that happen, I'm not saying he's not welcome back in the league. I understand he could have had a bad day. He could have been going through some shit.
Yeah.
And I approached him in the wrong time.
Yeah.
Right. But is that my rules? It's not my rules. It's the stadium rules. Right. I can't let you come do whatever you want. I can't do whatever I want. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and
but
unfortunately, that's again what comes with it, especially with the Haitian community and the baggages that we carry as a community. The things like we don't support one another, and I want to actually hear your thoughts on that too. Like, how do you feel about that? And for especially doing the same thing for the Haitians for so long. What are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you feel about the saying like Haitians don't support each other, or how do you manage to get around that?
What I would say on that one, Carl, it's a good question, man. I'm not gonna speak for every Haitian. It's not all of us. Some of us do understand the meaning of supporting. Some of us don't. Right?
Yeah.
Some of us think, hey, man, Carl, I'm here at your shop, man. Let me get this shirt, man. Let me get this shirt for free. Or let me know, yo, it's just $25. Let me get it for $5. That's not called support, man. Haitians say because they show up, they have to get, that's not support. We put something here in the community for you to come enjoy yourself. You want it to be to the next level. Yes, you showing yourself is some sort of support, right? But we be in a business that we're not rich, we're not getting money from governments or nobody else. We need a community to help this thing build to keeps it here for, like you said, like I want this thing to when I'm no longer there, somebody else is running it. I might be in the bleachers as an old man watching other grandkids, playing, right? I want to build something that's sustainable, even when I'm no longer here.
Yeah.
Right. In order for that to happen, like, yes, I do love when you come to watch the games. Like in the incident. Okay, a guy for the finals, right? We did debate. We sat down with the staff trying to figure out should we make kids free because we were always making kids under 12 free all season long. We try to figure out, what we're gonna do for the finals. But the budget for the finals was so much we had to figure a way to at least profit. We bring a live band. You know what I mean? We the budget was
pay them. Got to do all this stuff.
We got to do all that. So it's like, you know what? We're not going to charge the kids full price, but let's do kids half price or something, right? And this guy was at the gate. Oh man, you've been making kids free all year. Why all of a sudden you charging kids at the finals? And remind you, right? If he was a guy that came throughout the year and I would see him with his kid, I would say, fine, come in, That was his first time showing up. But yet he said online, kids free. I'm like, bro, it's been free all season long for the kids. You never showed up.
Yeah.
Right? So he's arguing with me, he's cursing the storm out. I'm about to spend it by himself. I'm like, bro, whatever. And his man's who has more, that's why I said it's not every Haitian. His man who has more common sense was like, yo, frère, parle avec him. Yeah, so quoi, if I'm Vietnam, that's Simon Mwe, by yo, so, qu'est-ce qu'on fait là? I'm like, yo, my guy, I got you. You know, you don't have to give me the 20, but give me whatever you get. I'll let you, for your kid. I was able to work because he was more compromising, right? You gonna come here yelling and screaming like, bro, that don't phase me. That shows big difference. You ain't ready for this, right? So his other partner and his partner came in with 5 kids. I probably charged half price for 2 of the oils was free. Just to be the fact he was, what?
More understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, right. He was more understanding and he was conversating more than, trying to, point fingers or trying to accuse, small business of not doing the right thing, right? But back to that question is, when it comes to support, it's there, but it could be better, right? And that's also for both on the league as well too. So right, because that's why I said when I know when we do the kids week, a lot of parents do come, right? So soccer is mostly a manly sport. Most women don't understand soccer. But when I do bring, that's why we try to mix entertainment with the sports. Right, so that's why we bring the band, we bring the ice cream, we bring the food trucks, the jumping house. Those is mixing entertainment with the sports to help the community gravitate to that, right? So like the support is there. It could be better, right? You know what I mean? So I something that's embedded in our DNA as Caribbean people. Always looking for a discount. I used to be one of those guys who's looking for a discount. You know, now being a business owner, if I go somewhere, I'm be the first to put my money out to support.
Right, because you understand that. Because you understand that now.
I understand, right? So I'm not going to people's bars over here. Oh, hey, it's me, Ace Snow. I know you try to use my name for credibility. I know I'm going somewhere. I buy my ticket early, and and stuff like that. Even for that, But that's how it should be, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if you could go back in time, right? What's one thing from your journey in general that you would change, and what is that? Like, what's the change?
I try not to leave by regrets because it's those lessons that you learn that build character. That helps you in your journey, right? But if there's one, I would say, like a guy like Steve. When I met Steve at 14, 15 years old, straight out of Haiti, the kid was super talented. I was young myself at 28. I didn't know any better, but I was the type of guy that was always emailing colleges or emailing news stations, CCTVs. I feel like I probably could have reached out more to give him opportunity, maybe even a D2 or D3 college to put him in that kid. Still today, you can see his talent. And when I'm telling you, when Steve first came from Haiti at 15, 16, playing with grown men, you couldn't even tell. He was always a leader, general on the field. And I feel like, I probably could have made a little bit more effort to knock on some doors for him. That's one of my regrets.
Okay.
That's one out of many. Of course, like I said, I'm only one. I had the vision, I had the idea, but never really probably, that's one of my. I probably should have banged on some doors for him. He ended up going to the military, I think after high school or whatever, and that didn't work too well for him. You know what I mean? But the kid, when it comes to that round ball, Steve is definitely one of those kids you could have, with the right academy, the right situation, you could have definitely seen that kid on your television playing ball.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right. How's your 22? We'll just kind of change pace a little bit. So, how's your year been? 2023. What would you say on 2023 right now?
I don't know if it's an age thing, but them shit's just flying like. You know what I mean?
I'm saying, dude, I don't know what it is, man. It's flying, and it feels like you have no time, man. It feels like you have no time, and always tired. I'm starting to think that there's something in the water and in the air. It's like, man, you work, you're tired. You don't work, you're tired. You sleep, you're tired. You wait, you don't sleep, you're tired. It's like, man, at this point, I'm thinking breathing makes me tired.
I'll say this, man. after the pandemic, the world's the world. You lie to yourself. You say the world's the same. The world's
Mm-hmm.
definitely not the same after the pandemic, man. Um, you know, you know, just everything feels different, man. You know, um, no one wants to admit it, but like we live in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Nothing feels the same, man. Everything seems rushed all over the place. It's no one has answers. It's like everybody's arguing, war everywhere, and it's just issues after issues. No one wants to, things not looking pretty, man.
mm-hmm.
The whole scale of everything, right?
Yeah,
But I try not to focus on things like that. I try to focus on the little things that have, we can control. You know, ça doit être contrôlable. You just,
yeah.
guidez-vous là, mais Jay-Z, whatever, ça lié à, I can't even rate 2023, to be honest with you, man. That's how fast it went. How about you, man? How about you?
2023 definitely been an interesting year for sure, and like you said, it just feels like it's just sprinting to get somewhere, like it's just rushing out,
Just rushing
and
just flushing us out.
yeah, and I of course I started the podcast last year, and I wanted this year to be a solid year for the podcast itself, and ran into some issues with that as well. Got injured, had to get surgery, and had to get ready for that. So basically, that took away some of the time, and at one point I was even questioning it too, like like do I even want to go back to doing that? And then what really like helped me recently was one of my friend that I did an episode with, like is doing things, and like just like he spoke into existence, he just like he said he would, like it's like now I'm remembering the episode, and I'm like, wow, he really was speaking that into existence, and I could go back to that. It meant so much more to me that I could go back and do that. And just like you, man, I don't know what it is about me, man. I like to put on for my people, and I like to really be there and like have something for them as much as I can do. I like to have that, like to help out, whatever.
I saw that this summer too, man, with the jerseys, man, like even with the camera, man. Not to cut you off, right back. Yeah, are you a Gemini by any chance? No.
I'm a borderline Gemini, I guess.
Yeah,
right.
I have
So
a friend that too.
I'm a Taurus, but I'm like May 20th. So
my brother's a Taurus. Too.
Yeah, in some calendars, that's the day that Gemini starts. And most calendars, it's like I think 21st.
There's a reason why I asked you that too, man.
So I'm like borderline. Gemini. I have a lot of Gemini in me for
traits,
sure.
Gemini's, you guys are geniuses, a brilliance, man. Could do multiple things. So sometimes that's your gift and your curse, right?
Yeah, that's what I've been dealing with. That's what I've been dealing with, because the things, like, I literally have to tell myself sometimes to accept it. And I've seen videos, and I've looked it up, and like read some things on that too, and like watched videos on that. And like when I find these videos, or even when I see people like you that are doing multiple things, you don't understand like how much of a relief that is to me, because it's like it's something that it tells me, you know what, you can continue to explore your creativity. You can continue to try new things, because like, we're getting up in age, and it's like you start to feel like, damn, I don't want to. Like, you need that one thing that we want to be known for. But for me, I don't want to be known for one thing, and that scares me. Actually, that scares me to know like Carl is known for this only thing. Like the thought of that just scares me. So I like to feel like I'm not boxed into any one situation. I could wake up tomorrow. I've told people in the past, like, I have airplane ideas. If I had the funding, there would be a Zachary airline somewhere that's flying. Like, it could be local. It doesn't matter. It would have happened. That's how much that's how far my creativity like goes.
But
you know.
can I say something though?
Of
One thing
course.
I've learned in my journey, you know, and a lot of people, when it comes to like ideas, we put funding first, and the people
Mm-hmm.
that people think, oh shit, I need funding, I need millions out of this, and all of a sudden your dreams crash. You're like, I'm not gonna make the money, right? But
Yeah.
if you take the opposite way, right? Again, my motto: you build it, and it will come, right?
Mm-hmm.
The minute the idea is there, it will generate the money.
Yeah.
You just gotta start the process from where you do whatever process of the idea is, where you don't need that much money. You might need maybe a few connections here and there to
Mm-hmm.
get that money. Let's do so, right?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I mean, you're a man. Like, you know, another, advice I could give you when it comes to like, trying to do multiple things. Again, the reason I'm able to, do different things is because, I've been consistent at certain things where, this might not need 100% of my time because
Mm-hmm.
it's moving, right? Right. So if you
Yeah.
have a business that's already sort of established, like, I know the clothing, you've been doing that for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, maybe what? Let me focus on pushing that extra hard, and then till it comes to a point where, you know,
It's on autopilot.
it's an autopilot, and I could branch off or something, right? You know what I mean? And like, that's why my goal right there is for the soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, boom, boom. Give it my all until it becomes autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can focus. Give 100% to the music.
Mm-hmm.
Autopilot, because
Do the same thing.
you yourself know this. Like the way things are, one cannot live in one stream of income.
You can't.
It's really difficult, right?
You can't.
But the good thing about America, it gives you opportunity to be creative, right? To be entrepreneur, right? To think outside the box and be able to do, right? You just gotta be consistent. Consistent,
Mm-hmm.
like when you take times off, you set yourself back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like I I took time off for the soccer, which I know I needed that time off,
Yeah.
right? But it was a big reset. Excuse me, it was a huge reset, right? So, but now I'm in year three, going on four. I feel good about myself.
Non-stop. Yep. Yep.
Right, I feel good about myself. So, I'm looking forward for year four. I can't wait for year five, but I'm not gonna skip step because I know by year 5, 6, 7, and 8, this thing should be. Oh well, like if you look at the MLS, for example, when the
Mm-hmm.
MLS first came in 1998, you know,
It
you could
wasn't
barely
the
do a thing.
MLS. It's not where it wasn't where it's at now.
It wasn't where
It's
it's
all
at now.
yeah. It's
Right?
all stages.
It's all stages now. Like in that stadium, there's more teams. There was only what
Yeah.
8, 12, 10 teams then. There was more teams. Teams are building their own stadium. They're getting players from Europe now. It's like
Yeah. They got
you know,
messy.
they got Messi now. Those are the best
Yeah.
players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
think my thing, I think my problem, and I'm working on that too. Is I think sometimes I'm too patient with with myself in a sense.
there's nothing wrong with
You know,
that.
yeah, it's again, it's a gift and a curse. The patience is good to me. It's like I'm all about timing, I'm patient about it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But which means I'll tell myself if I need to take, if I start to feel like I'm drifting away from something, like I will allow myself to take that time off. Whereas sometimes you have to also know when to push yourself. Like you just highlighted, like, yes, it could have been a situation where D1 Soccer League would have broken you at year 4, 5, but at the same time, if you kept pushing, it could have. Who knows? Right now, you would have. You definitely could have been doing D1 soccer leagues in multiple states.
Multiple states,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So for me, sometimes like my major problem with a lot of these things, like I'm too patient because to me, I'm like, yo, when it's my time, it's gonna happen. And I look back too, and the way I am able to calm myself down is I look back and I'm like, I've done the work. I've been doing the work. So when and I look at the other stories, I look at other people's stories, success stories.
Mm-hmm.
All of them have one thing in common.
Which is
It was not over time, right? It took a while. So they by year 3, year 4, year 5, or year 10, that's when it really started to look like. Because what do most people say? Oh, who's this new rapper, or who's this new artist? Or
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh my goodness. Can
What
you hear me?
people say, I can hear you. What people
Yep.
say is like, who's this new thing? Like even Amazon, Netflix, when these companies like came out and like blew up, people are like, oh, you ever heard of this new app, Amazon? You mean Amazon that's been here since 1990 something? Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
I used to order
So
CDs in the mail.
right, so
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing with the things that you're doing right now. One might look at D1 Soccer and say like, oh, this is his best year yet. Like think about you've just now had a live band, and in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning you didn't even have no DJs, no nothing. It was just fans, people. That's it. So now when people, that's why people come around sometimes and think that you're new to this, like, and you're not. You've been doing this for
Oh wow.
years. You
You,
got
you, you,
experience in this, and
you know
it
what?
took all that hard work, all that sacrifices, all those lessons, all those acknowledgments, feedback to get to this point where it's like it's undeniable. Ace
You,
is
you,
D1 Soccer League. D1 Soccer League is the community. It's here
you,
to stay.
you know one of the biggest lies that you could tell yourself or they tell others is the whole get rich quick scheme shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of time, we want to get there so fast,
Yeah.
like and you know that's one of a million. You know what I mean? And honestly, I wouldn't want to get there fast, not without the journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, extremely. I always tell this. I always tell people this all the time. I'd rather be poor first than become rich than to be rich and become poor.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard transition,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? If I
Because
know what misery is, I become rich. I'm like shit, nigga. I was there before. I know it down there,
yeah, because
right? But if I was,
you appreciate it.
you appreciate it.
Yeah.
But if I was rich, living in luxury, I'm poor. I'm like, that's gonna be a hard transition, right? So
Yeah.
one of the biggest lies that people just thinking that everything is quick cash and what most people don't understand too that's wants to be entrepreneur is that you work 10 times harder than clocking in. I go
Mm-hmm.
clock in. I know I'm here for 8 hours. I clock in my business. Now I don't give a fuck what happens after that,
That's it. Yeah.
right? But when it's for yourself, you in a clock 24 hours,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? And
No
you got to
break,
push
no
yourself
time.
24 hours,
Yeah.
right? You can't procrastinate. Nah, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I mean, you ain't gonna never gonna get shit done, right? Like even myself sometimes, like even my staff, sometimes like I ask them for something, I ask guys to do something, they're not doing it. I'm already 10 times on it. I'm not gonna wait on them,
Mm-hmm.
because I know what sometimes like yeah, it's discouraging. It could be frustrating sometimes. He's supposed to do this, he didn't do it. You know what? I'm on it, right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like and that type of mindset. Like even then when they see that, they're like, oh, So
It's motivating too to the people around you when they see that you're
you
able
know,
to you keep going, you keep pushing.
right,
It's
like you
motivating.
see me at the games, rain or sleet. I'm on the field. I'm getting balls. I'm doing this and that. You know what I mean? You see me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm on the dirt. I'm getting my hands dirty with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could
You're
easily
putting
play
in those
roles.
hours.
Yeah, I could easily sit down and kick back and play whatever, play CEO, play Mister Whatever guy. I'm on the dirt. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting in that work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so later on when I'm able to put somebody there and that's actually too good for it, I'm like, then you're not built for this,
Yeah.
right? Because I was there doing it.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
What are some things that you're looking forward to doing in the next year?
Well, as far as the soccer or
Uh,
in
sure, it
general.
doesn't, but it doesn't matter in general.
Huh. Well, as far as the Ace marketing production, which I just released, I'm looking to do a lot of events this year as well. I'm trying to get in touch with a lot more artists in the Haitian music industry, even in the big market, American industry, Afro industry. You know, more in the club scene. A lot of them too at the games, like I spoke to you earlier. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna have different bands, different artists comes in, different things, right? Just to keep my community entertained, man. Just to show them the different. Because summertime, I tell you, summertime's my time, man. Summertime's in Massachusetts, you know, you know. Well, there are things, there are things there to do for other
Mm-hmm.
communities, like other, and I think but not so much for the Haitian community, right? So like doing those outdoor festivities, like I used to do a community cookout all the time every year. That was the annual thing I used to do every year. One year, we used to do an annual cookout where we'd have vendors with free food, free drinks, live band, like everybody,
Yeah.
it was like a sort of appreciation for the community. We should do way back in the days. That's something that I know me and Pete we spoke about doing, bringing back for years. We spoke about it every year. I think he's waiting on me to take the first sleep. I'm waiting for him to take the first sleep, but none of us ever really took the first sleep. So
Yeah.
that's something that I'm really looking to do again. I'm not sure if it's gonna be this year, but I know for sure with the soccer and the club and I'm definitely gonna bring a lot more entertainment in the community, and then with the soccer too. I know that I've been away from soccer since the finals. We're gonna pick up again in January. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm trying to recommend. So far, I had a few teams already hit me up already. We trying to enhance the competition level. More media service. Oh man, I know you came to a few games last year, bro. Like, that's another gift for Jab you have. I didn't know you had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You came through with Bovada, and you had some great highlights. Just like you said, you don't want to be known as Carl as the one thing, Zachary as the
Yeah.
one thing. The podcasting is a great thing, man. I truly think having the right guests and being consistent with it.
Yeah.
We'll get you it. You have the personality, you have the aura. You just need the consistency, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the
So,
goal. That's the goal for season 2 is to really get back into being consistent and really just focusing on
man, listen.
pushing,
Even
pushing,
if
and
I gotta
pushing.
be there, even if you gotta do it in a way, you ever thought of doing a live podcast?
I it's in the work. It's part of the
You should
plan.
do a live, bringing
And
guests in and ask straight raw questions, right? I don't mind
yeah,
being a host with you every if it's every Tuesday, every other week, whatever it is the time is.
yeah,
I think we could do something like you could do the recorded version, and you could do a live one maybe once a
yeah,
month or
yeah,
every other
yeah.
week if you have the time.
I'm definitely thinking of doing like sort of a volunteer co-host, right? So every couple episodes, or maybe a season where I have a specific co-host.
That's fine. I'm with it,
Just
man.
yeah, that way it's like because sometimes. I feel like the questioning or the conversation could be a lot better
Hmm.
if there's two or more
Of course,
people in the conversation.
of
So
course.
definitely looking forward to that.
And like I said, I'm all for it, man. I'm all with it. I'm all for it. I love your work ethic, man. I love what you do. You're a very creative minded guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, likewise,
I,
man. Likewise, for sure.
thank you. And I think
Yeah,
with two great minds together, with two motivated guys, man. Dude, you know what I mean? Dude, I'm all motivation, man. I think I can
yeah,
motivate you to motivate me. Let's fucking get this, man. You know what I mean?
yeah. And like we
You
said,
know?
it's about helping each other too. Like being there for one another. As a fellow Haitian, fellow black man in the community, like with to get if there's any way we could do something together to push each other or even for the community in any way, it's time for us to definitely come together and make that happen. So I'm
So,
definitely looking forward to that.
okay, I'm definitely with it, man.
So the final question that I like to ask my guests is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you, man?
I mean, listen, man, I'm a very positive guy. Man. I'm extremely happy, man. Yeah, like everybody else, everybody got their own little issues and flaws and shit. You know what I mean? But I'm extremely happy, man. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Like I said earlier, the way things are in life. You know what I mean? Especially after the pandemic. A lot of people losing loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
You losing elder, all our great uncles and grandmas and aunties. Even young ones too are losing their life. In a quick
Over
wink,
stupid
man.
stuff,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I'm extremely happy. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm functional. You know what I mean? I'm grateful and thankful, man. Whatever I could do while I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
on this dirt, man. Try to be productive. Like you said, now it's like every little thing you do, you get tired, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, dude, I've been procrastinating myself to go to the gym for the last 2 months now, man.
Yeah.
So you know, Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to find ways to stay productive, active, and positive, man.
All
Been
right.
trying to stay away from all the negative BS, man. On a scale of
Yeah.
1 to 10, I say 8. I give myself a solid 8, man.
That's solid.
Yeah,
Solid.
solid 8, man. I'm happy, man. That's
All
it,
right.
man. I do want the word and everything in it, but if I can have the word and everything in it, I'll take whatever I have for now, man. I'm
Right,
happy
right.
with that.
And keep pushing to get the
You
world.
keep pushing,
Eventually,
yeah.
you know
Keep
you will.
pushing. Yeah, the
Yeah.
fact, that's what that's something like I know I'm not where I need to be yet, but I ain't lost motivation. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still very motivated, got the same passion. Yeah, there's bumps in the roads and shit. You know, and like I told you earlier, one of the traits I had in me that the not being able to quit, the
Mm-hmm.
not able to take no for an answer,
Mm-hmm.
the capability to find there's a fucking roadblock here. I'm like,
Find a way around it.
I find a way. Let me give you a
Yeah.
quick scenario. 2009, 2010, when I was playing in Cambridge. Remember, I was young, ambitious, and I couldn't want to take no for an answer. I was playing at the Russell Field. I had no permit. The field
Mm-hmm.
was always free every weekend. There was no need. So
Yeah,
as the
yeah.
league become bigger, more people come to the field to watch the games. During the middle of a game, police came. Cambridge police came. Middle of the game. It was like, hey, who's running this shit? I'm like, yeah, I pull up. I'm like, me. He's like, do you have a permit for it? I'm like, no, I don't. They're like, well, you need a permit for this. I'm like, for what? I'm like, we're not bothering nobody. You bother here. Well, he's like, if
The
they
field was
got
open.
uniforms and stuff like that, you need a permit. No, this game can't play. Remind you, middle of the season, bro. Mad people there. Middle of the season, police, the game stopped. I gotta find an alternate solution to find where the game's gonna play. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I mean, boom. So what I did, I had a great friend of mine named Will, mon partner blanc. He was a great
Mm-hmm.
friend of mine. He used to play in Cambridge Dragon with me. I'm like, Will, I need you. I'm going to City Hall tomorrow. I'm not gonna take that no for an answer. I'm like, Will, find your best suit. I don't care what you have. Just put a suit on and come with me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
just sit in there. Don't say anything, Will. Just sit in there, hold a briefcase. Will had a dusty ass suit. Probably like, he ain't warranted, who knows when.
Yeah, yeah.
Will, Ace, I got you, Ace. So Will, what's that blood here? So Will came in there, Will, she dark, I said, so he said there, it was a black lady that was the mayor of, no, it was a white lady at the time, that was the mayor of Cambridge. So we're sitting there in her office. So I'm like, she's like, Mr. Cenatus, unfortunately we can't give you a permit. But while she's talking to me, she kept looking at Will. She's like, who is this guy? I'm like, don't worry about him. He just here, make sure I got a fair trial, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, listen, man, I'm putting this league together. We've been here for 2 years, and I didn't know I need a permit. You know what I mean? I'm keeping these young men off the streets. She's like, yo, but that's not how it works. Like, blah. But she kept looking at Will. So Will like, So
It's
that
ready.
Will, she's like, you know what, Mr. Cenatus, I'm gonna give you the permit for the rest of the year for free. You don't have to pay anything. And next year, if you want any field permit, you can play at Denny Heat. We'll make sure we take care of you get to Denny Heat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the type of mindset that I had because I knew if I show there myself,
Yep.
again at the time I grew up in the projects. My business language wasn't as raw. Wasn't up there. I was raw with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, what? I know just having on blah blah would help
It's
me
gonna help.
win
Yep.
my case,
And it
right?
did. And it
And it
did.
did. You know what I mean? Not only that, I'm saying gratis, you offer nothing on couple of that day. You know what I mean? So, but ever since then, it gives me the courage. I can't understand how Munsa would have like, I mean, I've come like even in Hormel Medford, my
Mm-hmm.
first year after the finals, like, yo, you made them no zoom, avec même 15 blancs, you about to leave on terrain. I'm like, because after the finals, they found trash in the parking lot, all this other shenanigans, But I knew what it was all about.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? You know. But like I said, man, I never take no for an answer.
For
I'm
sure.
like, no, we're not
And
doing
you
this. I'm
shouldn't.
like, huh?
And you shouldn't.
No,
Never settle.
never settle. I'm like, listen, it's my first year there. Okay, it was just that happened. I didn't know I was responsible for the parking lot. We had, we did have, this for the community. We had a good amount of people that came. So you cannot tell me if I bumped me because of one incident. You at least give me a
Right.
warning.
Right. Right.
right? Give me a warning. Then I, make sure it won't happen again. If it's something that happened multiple times, okay. You can't say, man, my nigga say blah, and then and that mindset, it's years of experience, and if you could carry that everything you do, Carl, and start it with yourself too, man. I can't talk about it. It's not gonna stop you, man. Like I said, you're a brilliant minded dude. I think sometimes, like, we do get discouraged sometimes, especially in the journey when we're working by ourselves, right? The good thing, lucky for me, I'm a people's person.
Yeah.
I've come across friends that's been able to help me voluntarily, right? Right? Sometimes, a lot of times, they're not about the money first, but they see the vision, right?
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do. Most people get away the minute you say "Kobe get away."
That's
Yo,
it.
blah, more than what they call blah blah blah. One, so
Doesn't
but they
work
don't see
like
the
that.
vision.
All right. So how can people get in contact with you, or before we wrap up, or even support you? Would
As for me, everybody knows, I'm big on social media. People can hit me on my personal page, my Facebook page, Ace Cenatus, or you can hit up the D1 Soccer League. We have like 3 groups on Facebook. We got the D1 Soccer Lounge, we got the D1 Soccer League group page, and we have the official D1 Soccer League on the Facebook. And that's the same thing on Instagram. We have the D1 Soccer League on Instagram. If you're interested for the soccer, you can hit me up from there. With the whole marketing, instant marketing promotion, you can hit me directly on my personal page, which is Ace Cenatus again. That's both on Facebook and Instagram. I just created a TikTok, man. Everybody's been always telling me, "Yo, get a TikTok, get a TikTok." I'm like, "Man, I'm not my guy. I got WhatsApp, I got freaking this, I got that."
it's
The
too
third.
much, man.
That's
It's
too
too
much. Man. I'm
much.
like, I don't think I have time to get another one. But you
Yeah.
know what? If everybody's saying it, I say fuck it. I finally decided to create a TikTok, so I've been on TikTok now. I think it's been
The
like
wonderful part with TikTok as far as promoting is everyone is on it, and right now it's like, with our people in the community, the Haitians, all the Haitians are on it. You got Haitians
TikTok,
in Haiti,
yeah.
like Go Naive is probably gonna see it, and
Oh man,
Okap is gonna see it, and you're out here in Boston. It's like everyone is on there, so it's
everybody's
definitely a
on it.
good
Yeah,
idea
so
to
I've been
have
on that
TikTok.
TikTok. I've been on that TikTok wave right now. I've been TikToking it.
But
Man.
thank you, man. Thank you for this. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for telling me your story and sharing your story. There's a lot more to be said. We could probably go on for
Another
days,
hour.
just breaking it down and really get behind the scene and peeling all the layers. But we'll leave some more stuff for maybe next time. For the next episode that we do again. Which we don't know. It could be any time. It could be before the league. Could
Hey
be
man,
after the
I'm
league. Could
always
be
available for you, man.
exactly.
I'm
It
always available
could
for
be
you
as the
whenever you're ready. I'm
co-host.
there.
So we'll definitely make that happen again. And that being said, do you have anything else you want to add? Before we wrap up.
Man, listen, man, Zach, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you, man. Definitely looking forward for another one. If the opportunity ever comes, keep doing what you're doing, man. Don't give up. I mean, no stopping for a red light, man. Listen, a lot of the time it's us who's holding us back, man.
For
I
sure.
mean, no one else can hold you back but yourself, man. Again, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man. Let me tell my crazy stories, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, man. Thank
It's
you, man.
what
I appreciate it.
it's what we need to hear, and
Yeah.
one thing that's really motivating me too with the podcast and with your story too is that when I say about the new generation, look at what's happening now. It's like thousands of Haitians are coming in, in the United States, and a little bit different than how we came in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things are moving a lot faster for them.
Yeah.
Like at least we had that time. We had that. We really had to get out the mud, but things are moving a little bit different for them. So, things like this, and being Haitian Americans and really putting these type of things out there is really for them to know, like, there's a chance. You're here for a reason, and there's a lot more you can do in the country. Other than just like coming in and work, just because that's what you came here for. Like, nah, like you work, but also just know this is where you realize your dreams. This is where you put on for your community and help the next generation.
Oh, true.
So,
Okay.
yeah, thank you again, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Until
guys.
next time.